name's Thompson. It's been a little while since I made a video, but I've been reading quite a lot recently and I want to run through some books that I loved and didn't love so much, and let's get into them. So first up we have We Are the Ants by Shaun Hutchinson. This one was actually picked out for me to read by my husband. I was in a slump and I said, go pick something for me to read, and he came back with this. He had read it before and loved it. It's been on my list to read for quite a while. What a great book. So We Are the Ants is about a young gay man in high school who is having a bit of a rough time, let's be honest. He does get abducted by aliens quite frequently. They give him the option to save the world or the world ending, and so they give him this option and he doesn't know what to do. His life is pretty crap. Does he want to save the world? Is it worth saving? Are people worth saving? Are people good? All of these questions and more are dealt with in this book. There's quite a lot of really horrible, not very nice things that happen, but there's also a lot of really heartwarming moments, and I absolutely loved the relationship between the main character and his friend. They're just so fun together, so that was really fun to read, and I loved the tone, and it's a little bit tongue-in-cheek, and it was easy to read but also very clever, and I don't know, felt very real. So I loved this one, We Are the Ants. Since I had such a great time reading We Are the Ants, I was like, I want to keep this going, so picked up a book that has been on my shelf forever, Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe by Alires Saenz. Loved this as well. It probably took me just a little bit to get into the writing style, because it is it kind of reminded me of the Oscar Wilde Brilliant Life of Oscar Wilde. What was that book called? It reminded me a little bit of that. It was very underplayed, and it's very subtle and gentle. It's very gentle in tone. It's not specifically trying to be over the top funny, or like, I don't know, just it took me maybe until about a third of the way in to actually kind of get into the groove of the voice of the character and the narration, but then when I did, oh boy, did I love it. The only thing about this book was that I was so frustrated with the love interests of the characters, which is the main driver of this book is these two boys who are best friends, the best friends in the world. At different points in their life they diverge, and then sometimes they come back together and their relationship changes, and it's different because they're growing up over time, and that's what happens. So reading all of that in this book and seeing what they both go through apart and together is a lot, and I loved it. And then everything that happens in the very final pages made me so happy, and then found out that there is a second book coming out in October whose name I cannot remember, but I'll put it here somewhere. Loved it. So good, so happy. Loved Aristotle and Dante. I was on a bit of a kick with queer YA literature, so I wanted to keep that going. But I just read 2 books about boys, basically, and I was like, we need to switch this up. We need to get some ladies in here. So I picked up The Flywheel by Erin Gough. I don't know if you can see this cover, but it's absolutely gorgeous. This is set in Australia and set in, I believe, Sydney, or a city. It is about a 17-year-old woman who is left on her own to finish her final year of school and run her family's cafe and try and get the girl next door. She's going to do all of these things at once, and it was a frantic and hectic ride, but so enjoyable. This was, I mean, coming straight after Aristotle and Dante, this was like the light, fluffy thing that I needed. It was very easy to read, very easy to slip into the tone of voice that Delilah has. And because it was set in Australia, I felt like it was very familiar to me, all of the settings and the characters and the situations. I was very immersed in this book. I don't think there was anything I didn't like about... Oh, actually, no, I tell a lie, I have thought of one thing. The plot at times, to me, became a little bit unbelievable. There were times that I would kind of think to myself, how did that happen? How did nobody step in? Or how is this being let to go on for so long? And so there was that kind of practical part of my brain that was going, somebody help this poor girl. But I know that that's part of the plot, and that's what kind of made it interesting. But this was a very fun read, and it was really nice to see some lesbian representation, and also how that is dealt with differently about coming out. That was really nice to see too. So after that, I had a winning streak of 3 books so far. And I decided to pick up a book which I had been putting off because I had bought it a very long time ago, and then in the preceding months I had seen some discourse on the internet about it being problematic around the time that the movie came out. And that is Call Me By Your Name by Aciman. I think if I had seen that discourse before buying the book, I probably wouldn't have bought it, but I already had it, and so I thought, you know what, it's sitting there on my shelf, I'm gonna just start reading it and see what I think. I DNF'd this book about halfway through. I DNF'd it on exactly page 106, so not even halfway through. Didn't love it, for several reasons. First off, I don't know, just general creepy vibes. There were a couple of scenes where I felt uncomfortable with the relationship between the protagonist and his love interest, the older gentleman who is staying at the house. I could see what was supposed to happen and how it was supposed to go, and I was like, yeah, but also no. And then there were also other things on top of that, like I didn't really like the writing style. It felt too literary and too pretentious to me, which I know is also part of the story, I guess, because they're supposed to be academics, but I wasn't into it. And then also just nothing fucking happened. The majority of the 100+ pages that I read was just him fawning over somebody, and I was like, this is going on for way too long, nothing's really happening. There were maybe like one inciting incident that something happened, and then nothing, and I was like, no, I'm not going to waste more time on this uncomfortable and frankly boring book, so I gave up on that. And I'm putting it in a separate pile because it does not deserve to be in a pile with these 3 wonderful and beautiful books, which I'll hold up now and give them a big hug because I loved them. I love them very much. And I don't know, if you've read any of these books and you have thoughts or feelings, pop them down in the comments. I would love to chat about it. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening, and see you in the next one. Bye.